Hi, and welcome to Artist Academia. Today we'll be learning how to draw Amber from the movie Elemental. So grab a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen, something to color with, and we'll begin. So to start, I'm going to grab my pencil, and I'm going to very lightly draw a circle toward the top of my paper. It's actually going to be a little bit of an oval shape like that. And then very loosely, I'm going to draw some curved lines like this to start representing where her flames are going to be on the top of her head. And then she has a couple that come off to the side, so I'm going to go off a little bit further out here and come back in like this. Next, I'm going to draw two skinny curved lines in the middle coming down. This is going to be her neck like this. And then I'm going to draw really lightly a little oval here. And then a nice big curve like this where her skirt's going to be. It's going to be roughly something like that. And then I'm going to start drawing in her one arm on the side here. It's going to more or less follow the line of her dress. So it curves in here, comes down just a little bit past her dress, something like that. And then for this other arm, I'm going to draw another oval like this, and a curve, and it's going to come down a little bit this angle like this, and then meet up partway down her skirt, and it comes up at this curve like this. So this is her other arm, which is braced on her hip. And then I'll draw a couple lines here. This is where her belt is. And then I'm going to very loosely draw where her legs are going to go. So she has one here, so kind of more or less like a triangle. And then this one is going to come here. It's going to stop a little bit further down. So this side of her body is kind of tilted toward us. So her body's not full front, flat center. It's at an angle. So very loosely draw that in. And then coming back to her head, I'm going to erase some of this line work, clean it up a little bit. So the flame on this side comes down at a curve like this, comes back like this, and then this one comes something up like this, has a little peak here, a curve here, comes down like that. It's not, it has to be more organic. It's not going to be a perfect shape. So it changes. So that way it looks more like real flames. I'm going to have another curl, kind of going like down like this. And then, I'm going to kind of clean up these lines. She has these two kind of little side flames coming out. And then there's also lines that you can see that are a bit darker, that accentuate that sort of flame look. So her nose is about halfway, you know, if you can imagine, I mean, she's a flame, so she's not a person, but if she were a person, these would probably be roughly where her ears are. I'm gonna clean this up. I don't think it comes out quite that far. And so her nose is gonna come somewhere in between, and it's really just like a little point like that. And then below that, her smile. And then her eyes are a little bit at an angle. So the one eye, I'm just going to draw some guidelines. One eye is coming up this way, and the other eye is something like that. And they come something like this. You almost have like a teardrop shape. And then the bottom half, it's not going to be quite as far down. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. And it's a little bit, it's going to be, to redraw this, it's a little bit higher. Like the peak of this curve is toward the middle of her face. So you have, it comes up at a peak and then it slides down. And then it's more subtle on the bottom. Just comes down a little bit. And then I'll draw in circles for her eyes. So she'll have one here, one here. And I'll draw in her pupils in the middle of that. And then she has little shine marks. I'll draw a circle there. That's going to be shine mark here, shine mark there. And I'm going to darken this up a little bit on the top, because that's going to be where her eyelash is. Let me clean this up a little bit more. So this is the outside of her eye, pupil. And then she has these big eyelashes, so I'm gonna start over here. It's gonna thick up this line here, and then you can draw a line coming off of this and start by meeting it like that. So I'll do the same thing over here. This gets thicker, kind of meets it over there, and then it comes off kind of these little points like that. This could be her eyelash. That side, eyelashes on this side. And then she has these very expressive eyebrows. So this one is gonna start roughly here, right above where this eye starts. And it's pretty close to the top of the eye. It comes down like this. And it comes from this little point and then widens a little bit. Comes back something like that. And then the other eye is gonna be curved up. So I'm gonna start over here, and it has a big curve. And then again, the point of it is gonna end roughly where this starts. And again, it gets thicker in the middle and then thins out a little bit more at the end. So there's her eyebrows. And then her mouth, it gets a little bit thicker in the middle and then thinner again toward the edges, like that. So I'm going to come back in with her neck. And then she has a popped collar up here. So we're going to start right down here and curve like that. And same thing on the other side, we're going to curve like that. And you're going to see her neck come down like this through her top. And then it comes down like this, something like that. And then she has, it's a halter top, so no sleeves. And then we drew in this, we can kind of follow partly where that oval was that we drew for the opening for this arm. And then 2 little lines for the belt. And then we can follow down the line of her skirt. That. It's not quite right. Clean that up. And then her skirt is not a perfect straight line. It's going to come a little bit at a curve like this, and then a slight curve in this direction like that. And then for her arms, to make it look more like flames, it's going to be uneven, kind of like the top of her head. So I'm going to come in a little bit of a point for the shoulder, so a curve, up as like a little peak again, and another one. It's going to be dipping in and out, almost like if you're drawing like ocean waves. And then comes down at a nice point for her hand. And then for the other side, come up. She's a little peak here, curve, and then another peak. And then this comes at a nice curve like this. And then her hand looks something like that. So you have a curve here, and then it gets smaller here, curves back in like that. And I'm just going to draw out a little bit here so you can see her where her wrist is. A little bit here, like that. And then for her legs, it's going to be, again, you're going to have flames. It's not going to be even. Going to come down a nice curve, another peak, curve, curve down. And I am following roughly these shapes that I drew. It's just I'm just making it look more like flames. And same thing for this side. And this leg's actually a little bit in front of that one. Reach this part. It needs to be a little bit moved in this direction. Something like that. And then to make her legs look more like flames, I'm going to add some lines like this. Just a few. And same with her arms. Just gonna add a few of like these lines so that it looks more like flames. And then for her dress is very shiny and it's made up of a diamond pattern. So I'm going to start by coming down at an angle across and then drawing lines parallel to that and just trying to keep them relatively the same width. Like that. And then I'm going to come back across in the other direction. And that will give it the diamond pattern that we're looking for. And now I'm going to outline everything with pen. And now it's time to color. Thank you so much for joining me today. Great job. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss another video.